Hello. How are you? I saw Dim and Dragon. Hi. Oh, the TCG. I was gonna say, the TCG happened like 2 minutes ago, but no, you pulled another one. I. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little upset right now. I think OBS updated and now everything looks different, and I don't like it. It's bothering me actually very heavily. Not that it's a bad update, but like it I don't know what happened. My chat disappeared. My like activity like thing changed and it disappeared, so I had to like pull it back up and then everything looks different. It's not a bad different, but like I'm not used to it. I'm not used to it. But hi Dim, hi Dragon. I don't know if anyone else is there, but hi. It looks ooh, I don't know how I like it. Like the new activity bar is at least instead of like cluttering chat, I guess it's now telling me that like any redeems that you guys are doing is in my stat bar instead. So it's like, ugh. Time to mess around with the docking again. The docking in itself is not bad. It just looks different. But I guess they decided to move where some of the information's going. Like again, usually when you guys do redeems, I see it in my chat. So that's why sometimes if you guys redeem things all at once, it can you guys might notice that like I have to scroll around or I take a little bit longer to respond to certain chat messaging, or there is a lot of cases where when I review my VODs, I do miss chat. I feel bad, but like I genuinely do miss like messagings, and it'll be funny because I read the message like under it, but I didn't even realize I had a message above it. And hi Mystic, but I guess they moved everything in the stat now, which is kind of nice. I'm assuming, unless I suddenly get like a huge like raid and follows or something, then I might have some struggles. Also, do you guys have to do this right now? Suki, Suki, Suki. Suki. Is it because I didn't pick you up? Okay. Hi. Hi, Seth. Yeah, okay, so small update. Small update. I always check the activity feed. No, I do too. That's how I catch my follows and such when things happen. Because if you guys don't know, my follow alerts are kind of quiet, at least on my end. It's probably okay for you guys, but it's quiet on my end. I have to check the activity bar very often just to make sure like I'm not missing anything. But hopefully it doesn't make it harder for me if someone follows and I miss it because of like other redeems or something. Anyway, small update. I was going to play Genshin today. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think actually today is gonna end up being a just chatting stream. I'll be quite honest. You guys know that I create my schedule kind of like in the beginning of the week, and most of the time I choose days that I know that I'm not very busy, and I have been streaming more on the weekend, and that's usually because there's not much to do. I guess you can say on the weekend, or like I'm back at a certain time. Or as you guys see, like I sometimes just start really really late, and that's okay because Sunday I'm free, so I can sleep in. Um, let's just say that's not going to plan this week. Um, my family suddenly feels the need to go out a lot this week. Like yesterday I had a few things to do, and then so by the time I got home I was tired, and that's why I kind of canceled stream. And so tonight I was like, I'm gonna stream. I need to do some I need to do stagnant, whatever you call it. I need to do spiral abyss. I have like things to do, right? I'm getting ready for Star Rail because holy crap, I'm like planning my polls right now. And then suddenly I'm hit with, hey, Issa, do you want to go out at midnight today? And I'm like, what? Hey, Issa, on Saturday, my friend is inviting us to Mahjong. You want to go? It's like at 4 p.m. And I'm like, what time will we be home? She's like, I don't know. And then I don't know if you guys know, those sort of things last until like midnight, 1 a.m. those things last for a long time. It's not just mahjong night. It becomes like dinner and it becomes like, like game night, or it becomes like more than just that. And I'm just like, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, no worries, rest is more important. Okay, yesterday was rest, but now all this is like, no, I kid you not. Literally, like 5 minutes ago, my mom called me and she's like, "You want to go somewhere? Let's go at midnight." I'm like, "What are you guys doing at midnight?" And I kid you not. I kid you not. They were out all day today. Okay, they were out all day today, out in the sun. They were. I think they went to like the beach or they did something, and I stayed home because it's Friday. I still have work, so I don't know what happened. Rest is more important. It's not rest anymore. I'm just being dragged out of my own house. To be fair though, you guys, if you guys know, like I'm a huge family person in general, so like it's one thing when I stream is usually because again, we're not doing anything, hence why I was like, okay, I'll use my time for whatever I want to do. But I do try very hard to go out with my family, and we haven't gone out for much, so it's like, oh, okay. Okay, it's hard to say no. Also, hi Avery. But that's kind of where the change of plans. Also, I saw Lirio too. Hi Lirio. But that's where the change of plans occurred. Is I don't think I can actually be playing much games. Like I guess I can play a little bit of Genshin, but then won't be. It won't be very long, because apparently I gotta leave in like maybe an hour. A little, definitely less than 2 hours, but like an hour and a half. But I feel so bad for like canceling stream yesterday, and then now I'm like thinking tomorrow. I was gonna mention today. I was like, oh, guys, I might not be able to stream tomorrow. Or it's gonna be the same thing as last week where I start like super late, like who knows how long, because I don't know when I'm getting home. So it's like, yeah, yeah, it's one of those things. So it's like it's a lot of unplanned events after I already made my stream schedule. It is what it is. It is what it is. So it happens. It happens. Sounds eep-inducing. I mean, I don't know about you guys. My sleep has been so bad. Not just this week, but last week too. I think I told you guys my sleep was really bad last week. I think it just got worse. Like, it was like 2 nights ago. I honestly didn't sleep much the night before, and then somehow I ended up staying up the entire night. For whatever. I think it was Wednesday. It was like the Wednesday morning, Tuesday night. I stayed up like the entire night. To be fair, I was looking forward to a bunch of the Star Rail leaks, okay? So like maybe it's because of that anticipation is what kind of led me to not sleep. But I've been on 2 hours daily. The addiction is too strong. No, Dim, no. Mine's been real bad. Yeah. I can't even say it's the heat anymore because my family, we finally gave up. We gave in, and now the AC is on. Not all the time, but we have like a limit where like it has to be this temperature. If it's not, turn on the AC. When it's done, then it turns off. That sort of thing. So it's not on 24/7, but it keeps at least the rooms all at like an even, nice temperature. So like I can't. It's not even the heat anymore. I don't know what's making me stay up. Also, hi Dragon Balls. Hello. I have a weird sleep cycle going. I wake up in intervals through the night. Oh, wait, hang on. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. Hang on. She's waking up in a bit. I don't know what happened. It just crashed. There we go. How are you doing? A lot of unplanned stuff. I feel kind of bad. that this week I actually won't be streaming as much as I was hoping for. I have so much to do in my games. So much. So it's like, I don't think I'm gonna get Satali in Genshin. I'm so close, but like, I don't think I'm gonna get her. But yeah, no, my sleep has been really off lately as well. It was my birthday 3 days ago. Happy belated birthday! I hope you had a good time celebrating it. I hope you spent the time with special people in your life. I hope you had a lot of fun. Yes. Happy belated birthday. It was like, now that I'm thinking about it, it was also my family's birthday this week too. I missed it. Honestly, mood. I do that too. I do that for my birthday too. I don't do much for my birthday. Happy belated birthday, yes. Happy belated birthday. But yeah. There's too much going on. It's actually kind of sad. Right now, I'm like losing interest in Genshin. Sadly. Also, thank you for the follow, Vanny. Thank you. Or, yeah, Vanny. Sorry, I'm like... I was looking at my activity bar and then I see something else. And I'm like, wait, whose name is that? Sorry. Hi, thank you for the follow, Vanny. Hello, how are you? Also, if you guys notice, I changed my alerts. So I hope it sounds nice. I have new alerts. And also, hi Nico, how are you? How you doing? Even though people came over uninvited, I didn't really care, so I just went to sleep. Yeah, I don't do much for my birthday either. I really don't. Even though I did not know it's your birthday, that's okay. I'm doing good. How about you? Tired. Somehow I feel so bad. I create schedules for a reason and then now I can't follow my schedule. I don't need to follow my schedule, but I feel bad that like I tell you guys like, hey, I'm gonna stream these days and then suddenly like, oh yeah, never mind. Never mind. I'm doing not so great? Oh no. Just finished some of my chores. Chores are not fun. My nightmare with schedules, I just like having a schedule because then, you know, it's easier for people to know, like, okay, like, you know, you stream around this time. Oh, this is what you're doing? I really don't want to miss this one kind of thing. So, like, I try to create a schedule. Usually I don't care to. I'll be quite honest. I just do it because it looks nice, but it helps with the consistency. It also helps me be more, what do you call it? Accountable? Accountable for like, oh yeah, you gotta stream this day, okay? You already planned it. And then, yeah, now my family's like, let's go somewhere. Right now. I'm like, oh, can we do it like later? Okay, we'll do it at midnight. I'm like, oh, okay. Never mind, no more games for me. No more. You know. I got some Legos I wanted, and in one of the sets, one piece was missing, and it was just the one I didn't have extras of. Oh no! That one missing piece. Are you able to, like, maybe substitute it for something else? Because there are sometimes pieces that are, like, they can kind of work. You know, like how there's a lot of two pieces, the two-part pieces, and might just not be the right shape or the right color, but, like, technically it works? Schedules, especially for sleep, always is. No, my sleep is messed up. We don't talk about sleep. Schedules for sleep never works, guys. Never works. Accountability for schedules are usually my problem. Yeah. That's why I used to avoid it initially, but it doesn't happen as often now. I think I found a pretty good timing for things, but then let's be real here. It's summer. I have little siblings. Life is more busy. Hi, Knight. Hello. I can't even finish it without that. No! Wait, that's the worst. That's the worst. I should know, because I do, like, build some Legos or do crafting stuff like that. Speaking of accountability, I need to send Karisu info. Yes, go send Mama some info. I honestly, I'm, like, tempted to go message Karisu for more art. I really liked the last art that I got from her. It was like a mini, like, okay, I can't say mini. It's like a full body skeb, and I'm not gonna lie, I really, really love it. So now I'm tempted to go ask for more like it. I'm like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. At least it wasn't a big one, it was just a small dragon. But the small dragon is still so sad when you have like a piece missing. I had that happen all the time. Usually it's my own fault. Usually I misplace things. Usually I misplace things. But yeah. I'm trying really hard not to get art right now. I'm trying so hard right now. I need to save. I need to. Oh, like I said, so I feel bad, but I'm not as into Genshin right now. I think I'm just waiting for Shesnaya. So this patch right now, I'm not very into. I kind of like don't care as much. I got my Lohen already, so I'm more interested in like waiting for the next part of the story. And you know, we're not gonna get that until like I think it's the next patch after, right? It's after this patch. So I'm kind of just like, So, but now all my attention's on Star Rail, where I'm like, Aventurine. How many pulls can I get? I'm already at 400 pulls. 400. This is not including my reserve pulls, which is now at 129. So that I have a total of 500 pulls right now. I'm waiting. And I'm also seeing like, do I really need any other characters? And I'm like, no. I'm in spending jail. I see that's the same for me. I've already looked. I've been calculating how much I spend for like stream stuff or art stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I really gotta stop. I'm gonna go get food and come energy drinks, come back, and I haven't played Genshin in like 4 months now, I think, and I should probably get to Inazuma at least before next patch. Inazuma's story was okay. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was okay. Personally, I thought it was okay, but I can understand why it could be better. Also, I'm like, ooh, this new thing is bothering me. Hang on. Oh, I can get rid of that. Okay. Okay. Sorry, they have a new activity bar, a new chat bar on OBS, and my initial OBS chat doesn't show like certain numbers, and I don't. So I was trying to get rid of it. I'm gonna get the food now and be back in 20. Okay. Have good food. Hope it's enjoyable. See you later. I'll be here for a little while. But yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I've been spending the last 2 days? Yeah, 2 days. I've been spending the last 2 days hunting down for a bunch of leaks. That's what I've been doing. A bunch of like Star Rail leaks. I've been scrolling through YouTube watching a bunch of like gameplays and everything, trying to like what do you call it, like calculate and understand, I guess you can say, how to play the new Aventurine. So I can try and understand like, oh, what kind of team comps does he want? Unfortunately, not that he's bad. I don't want to say he's bad, but I think a lot of people have been claiming it that his gameplay is a little clunky. I think is the word. It's a little strange. It's easy to understand. It's easy to execute it comparably to Robin's, because I've been also watching videos on her gameplay, and I have no clue what's going on. I have no clue what's going on in hers, because she like uses skill twice in the beginning and then never again. And then I guess all she does is like sometimes ult, sometimes does like a I don't even think it's not even a follow-up ability. It's her like it's her memo sprites attacking, and that's all she does. And I'm like, you don't do anything. But then apparently you have to. It's like a counter system with kind of like Evanescia. So I'm like, I don't understand. Also, hi history. Hello. But yeah, so I've been trying to understand Aventurine's stuff too, and it seems like he can play in like 2 different teams, but both of those teams aren't exactly good for him either. It's kind of a weird situation he's in. He's okay, like he does what he does, but technically none of the teams that he works with don't necessarily benefit him very much. Not as much as people think, and then he doesn't do anything for the teams either. That's kind of like the weird situation he's in. It's like, oh yeah, that's not exactly a good situation to be in though for a game that relies heavily on team synergy. So, but you know, V1, what do you call it, like versions of a character usually are very clunky or very like, they're either bad in number situation, bad in gameplay, like it's not very smooth, or they're overly broken because they had a really good concept, but they didn't fix up how it would be managed with the rest. And it's like, so it's a weird situation. But I've just been watching a bunch of gameplays because I wanted to have at least an understanding of like at least currently what's the idea of how he's supposed to do. And to my understanding, so he's supposed to be an elation character that can either play in an elation team or in a regular team that specializes a little bit more in follow-up attacks, or not necessarily follow-up attacks, but they attack often. And that just, it happens to be mostly follow-up attack characters that attack very often. So if he's in an elation team, I think they wanted him to be more of a like burst DPS kind of situation, because at least based on the current leaks, his numbers, I guess you can say it buffs his elation damage, which is where everything, that's all his damage right there. So if he's in an elation team, he gets more elation damage there. And you know, I guess with multiple elation characters, you do go a decent amount of times, but at least in the follow-up team, especially if you have any of his etalons, but even without his etalons, honestly, he goes like crazy. And he speeds himself up. So he goes twice as much in a follow-up team versus an elation team. But his elation team, it looks like he does bigger numbers when he attacks. So like, I'm assuming they wanted him to either be played as a burst kind of character in an elation team, or they wanted him to be kind of like the other follow-up characters where he just goes freaking often if he's not in an elation team. But his counter system is also kind of strange. It's a very weird situation. Very strange. But it is very entertaining to watch him go over and over again, if anyone has seen his animations. What are some specific lineups for him? Okay, here's the thing. Everyone has been talking about what are good teammates for him, and none of those teammates are actually that good for him. Does that make sense? It's kind of sad. So for right now, for the elation team, what we know is he probably would want something like Evanesia's team. Like, I've seen some people try him with Evanesia herself because she attacks very often, which technically charges him. Again, it's kind of like the same situation as follow-up. He wants a lot of attacking. So some people have tried him with Evanesia, but most of the time people used him with Yao Guang and Elation MC. But the problem, I guess, with that team setup is they don't, okay, not that they don't go, they go too often. As in, they make AHA go too often. And that sounds weird because it sounds like you want him to go often, but that's actually really countering against his charging, because what he wants is so he has like a 30 stack charge. It goes up when he attacks by like 4 or 5, and then every single time your teammates hit, it goes up by like 1 or 2, depending. I think it's mostly 1, but it goes up. And then he does a follow-up attack, or it's not really a follow-up attack, it's a version of his elation skill 1, and it goes after 10 hits, and then you can charge up to 30. It doesn't go again at 20 or 30. I don't know why. I think you need an etalon for that. I don't know what's the reasoning, but it doesn't. But after you get up to like a certain number past 10, it basically enhances his elation skill into elation skill 2. So when you go with aha, it gives him, I guess, a bigger elation skill damage. It buffs it up. But if aha goes too often, you're basically getting rid of every single stack he earns. So let's say you're like at 9 stacks, you're just about to hit that 10 to let him go and then also get the enhanced elation skill version, but then you have Yao Guang and you go. You end up basically getting rid of all of the stacks and then he starts from 0. You know what I mean? Or let's say you already have like 20 stacks, you use aha, he wipes all his stacks because you just use aha, only for aha to go again right afterwards. So when aha goes again, it's kind of like, oh, well, he doesn't have any stack, so when he goes, it's not a lot of damage. It's kind of a strange situation for him in the elation team. So he can do pretty big damage in the elation team, but he's not able to like get all his stacks very well. And then there's a lot of times where it's like it's like the speed tuning is off. So then there's times where you get good stacks and you use aha moment and it's like great, and then suddenly aha goes again and you didn't have any time at all to restack him. So it feels kind of bad. If that makes sense. It feels very inconsistent. And then that's his problem with the elation team is aha actually kind of goes too often or not enough, because if you don't have Yao Guang, it doesn't go enough, because if you charge over 10 and you don't have any etalons, you won't get any more of those special, almost like follow-up elation skills. So then you're just stacking and stacking and waiting for aha to go. You see how that's kind of weird? And then with his follow-up team, I heard it's a very similar situation. However, there's two things. There's two things with the follow-up team. One, they go too often. Which it sounds crazy because you want to go often, right? That was the whole point. You want to go often, but just like the stacking issue, because you don't have enough aha moments to get rid of these stacks, especially past 10, and you don't have the etalon for every 10 stacks you get like that special follow-up elation skill. Now you're overstacking him. So there are some times where you actually go past 20, 30, or 30 is the limit, but honestly anything past 10, like it's not, I guess, beneficial. It's kind of like yeah, you add a little extra damage, but honestly it's not a crazy difference, I guess, compared to at least if you get that enhanced elation skill. So his follow-up teams are actually going too much. Funny enough. Two, the follow-up team actually, as much as I wish that it worked better, they actually don't work very well for adventuring. Like, everyone keeps talking about the mono men team, and I hate to break it to everyone who wants the mono men team. It's not going to work. They can create a mono men team, but I don't think adventuring's for it. Not right now, at least. The thing with the mono men team, it's not even the mono men team. Let's be real here. It's the Ash Blade team, okay? It's just Ashvale and Blade. They don't need adventuring. That's kind of, or the only thing that adventuring brings onto the table, because if you guys look at his current leaks, he's a very greedy DPS. That's not necessarily bad, because he does a lot of really strong self-buffing, but he doesn't bring anything else to the table. And at least at the current moment, his damage is not overly much. Then, because he doesn't synchronize with the other teammates, he's with Blade and Ashvale. They are really good teammates, just not for him, because half of their kit is not buffing him. Like, don't get me wrong, the buffs that are universal for Ash and Blade are very strong, but it's not enough. especially for adventuring. And then the other part of them is they want to buff follow up, but he doesn't actually have any follow up damage, so they're missing that. And then just again, since Aventurine is buffing only himself, Ash and Blade technically are not getting anything else except for each other, which is already what's kind of happening now, and whatever like sustain you end up with. And honestly, the best sustain for them right now, for that team specifically, okay, Ash and Blade, is actually Hyacinth. So again, I don't know where the whole mono men team is coming from, because I heard Dan is actually not a good preservation character for them. Unless maybe you have his light cone, because I guess like his light cone allows for healing, because Blade wants some, he actually wants to lose HP and heal. And so like you don't actually want a preservation character for him. So it's such a weird, I think a lot of people are trying really hard to force it. I think I heard that I heard, what's his name, Gilgamesh? I heard Gilgamesh is better with that team if they want a mono men team. Even then, technically, they're using the wrong preservation character. It's awkward. All this sounds extremely weird to work with. It's early beta though, or maybe future characters synergize really well with it. That's what my thought process is I think, so okay, so let's go back behind the leaks. And okay, and we all know leaks are not, they're not reliable for various reasons, okay? They're really not reliable. And there's always change ups. So, but if we look back at the leaks, all they said for a little while was there should be a person that comes out that fits with this mono men team that people keep talking about. Some of them did say it was Aventurine, but not all of them did. And so it is very possible that maybe they're coming out with a different guy. Who knows? And then in general, it's just, it sounds strange. They did get some leaks right that Aventurine is this elation character that is fine without elation characters, but it's very clunky and not necessarily, even right now, even if his kit did work better, it still sounded like Ash and Blade is not necessarily the right characters for him. Or let's be real here, Ash and Blade in general, okay? They are the wheelchair team of Star Rail right now, kind of like Columbina and Inefa. So like you just slot them into any team and they just work. You know what I mean? Yeah, you might not get the full benefits of them, but let's be real here, they're the ones that's doing the most damage, right? So realistically, it's just, it doesn't mean that the characters don't work with them. It's just they're the team. If you have those two together, you can kind of slot them anywhere for the most part. Unless it's like very, very specific niche teams like Finan. Because in Finan, he takes everybody away, you know? So that's why it's like, it's a really weird situation. Because Aventurine's not doing bad, but he doesn't really have a team that works with him, and he doesn't work with the team either. So it's very awkward. I accidentally yelled at my nephew. Oh no. What happened? Or, okay, well, you don't have to tell me, but like, hopefully it's okay. Hopefully it's okay. It happens. It happens. But yeah, so it sounds more like Aventurine might be an awkward character, or he could be like another Ash Vale, where like his real teammates are just not existing yet. If whether it's a character that gets a new update or an actual like new character, we still have a few new characters, you know, that should be pushed out eventually. But yeah, watching him and he comes into my room saying, "Oh, not the tablet." Ooh, that does happen sometimes. That does happen. Yeah, but yeah, so. But yeah, like you said, and like I said earlier too, it's version 1. Version 1 is usually, it's two situations. They're really bad because the theory of the kit works, but not in gameplay, or they're overly broken and they definitely did not take into consideration how it might affect the game. It's usually one of those two situations, but usually they balance it out by by V3. So usually they balance it out. Hopefully, most of the time. I thought it was the new one I bought, but it was the $50 one I bought. Oh, okay, it's not as bad. Also, thank you for the follow. Uh, Hi Art. Hello. How you doing? You planning to pull his Eidolons or just E0S1 for now? I'm assuming not with his rerun curse. I am actually contemplating on E2. I'm contemplating on E2. I am thinking of maybe going for E. Okay, so his OG Eidolon or OG version, his OG version. I am contemplating between 1 to 2 pulls of him. Either 1 pull of him and 1 pull of his light cone, or 2 pulls of his Eidolons to get him to E4. I am debating on that. I guess I'm kind of seeing how my luck is right now, because my pity, if you guys know, is really low. It's at 5. My pity is at 5, and the light cone pity is like at 0. Okay, it's really low right now. So I guess it comes down to like, how lucky am I with getting 1 copy? If I'm not lucky, I'm done. I need to save up. You know what I mean? But I think for his new form, I am planning to go straight E2 S1 at least. At least. I was debating on possibly E0 and as much light cones as possible, because his light cones is crit rate. Ah, dog, come here. Come here. You're fine. You're fine. Sorry, they hear something outside. But yeah, I was debating on trying to grab as much copies of his light cone, because his light cone is not like Topaz. Okay, sorry, I'm like thinking in my head it's similar because of the crit rate. It builds up to like at most 30% crit rate, which would be so freaking helpful. Okay, but like that's a lot. That's a lot. But I really like his okay, at least right now, his current Eidolons. I'm like, I do like the E1. I do like the E2. If I'm going to invest in him, I might as well invest in him now. But I wasn't gonna go like overly overboard, because whoever comes out next, I'm fearful who it might be. And then, like you said, I'm assuming since he's coming out for the very first time, his rerun should come out pretty soon after the first time. You know? They really place you in a predicament with their adventuring banners. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I've been trying really hard not to spend on art. Not that I'm going to swipe necessarily, but like it's tempting. It's very tempting. It's just, like how to put it. It's just very tempting because right now, if I don't pull for, so I'm just gonna call them Aventurine and Wave Flare. I think that's just the easier way to differentiate between them. If I don't pull for Aventurine and go solely for Wave Flare, there is an actual chance with the amount of pulls I've saved that I can actually realistically, to some degree, possibly get E6 in one go. Assuming my luck is on my side, at least for some of those pulls. That is the crazy part. That is how much I've saved up, is that I actually quite possibly can get E6 and maybe S1. I can guarantee an E0 S1. I think according to like some like calculations, I can at minimum, with bad luck, get up to like E4 S1. Like guaranteed. That's a lot, you know? That's assuming I don't pull for anything at all until eventually. That's also assuming that there's no other character after next patch. You know? It's like, oh no. Determination? I know. It's so bad. It's actually such a predicament right now. And like it's crazier because it's like I like my other adventure. And again, like I think you guys know me, even if Wave Flare ends up not being that great of a unit, it doesn't really matter to me because obviously that doesn't really stop me from doing very well with my Topaz, I would say. I was checking on some like was it? I was checking on some guides where like they do tier lists to talk about like, oh yeah, which characters to use for the current end contents. This character does really well. Topaz right now, unfortunately, is in a really bad state. She's at T3, T5, and like T2 on like Memory of Chaos, Pure Fiction, and Anomaly. I think. What's our current ranking? And you guys have literally watched me use Topaz in every single one. So obviously that doesn't, the rankings or their gameplays are obviously not very a limiting factor for me. I work very hard on building my characters, as you guys can tell. So, but now it comes down to like trying to vertically invest in them and trying to get certain teammates to at least make them work. And that's how I've been. That's how my follow-up team has been surviving somehow. But that's why I have to actually be very careful with my pulls. Because as much as I love them, and as much as I would love to pull them E6, S5 right away, I have to now start taking into consideration certain teammates if I want them to be very usable for the long while. And obviously, my resource management. Like I think I made pretty good boots for him. Because right now, I feel like it's going to stay. I feel like he's gonna want speed. I think speed is going to be like a main stat of his for a while. So like I've been doing a bunch of speed stuff for him. Does it help that some tier lists also base placements on player usage, which isn't necessarily the best indicator of how the character's performance actually is? Exactly. You're right, Cosmic. Some of it is like, if you guys don't know, I use like Pridewind a lot. I use it mostly just to get like an idea of how a character works. I use their build section just to have an idea of like, okay, this is kind of, I guess you can say, the baseline of what a character should be at. And usually from there, if it's a character I don't care for, I'll just get to that baseline. Essentially, I'll just get to the baseline and be like, okay, call it a day, I'm done. For Topaz and Aventurine, if you guys don't actually know, I have a spreadsheet. I have I have a private Discord server that's literally just me and Riddy in it, and she knows this. She knows I spam that Discord of like different builds, different teams. I literally keep track of every single stat I have, and I make adjustments after trying them out. And basically I readjust what I think the stat should be, or how much like of something I need. So as you guys can tell, I work really hard on my Topaz to be able to do that. So yeah, I don't follow the Pridewind's suggestion, because I think Pridewind's suggestion would be they want crit rate as her body, and then they're like, oh, for crit damage for Topaz, 120%, 140% is good enough, and I'm just like, what? That little? No way. It was harder when I had less light cones, that's for sure. But now that her light cone is S5, I get 30% crit rate, so that makes my life so much easier. Now I'm over capped on crit rate, actually, by 3%. That's a little bit much. The commitment that it's one of those things. Okay, again, I play this game on a different level. I'm not a meta player, guys. I'm not a meta player, so I have to do really weird builds, or I have to build certain characters in a very specific way to make them usable. And with Topaz, it was hard. Let me put it like that. I think her attack is lacking a little bit, but she's doing pretty great on my team. But I literally pull characters that works for her and also buffs her for other things, right? So I tried to do the same with Aventurine. It's a little harder with Aventurine because technically he's more of a DPS the more Eidolons you get for him. So until then, he's a sub DPS for quite a while, but he could be a DPS if you get more Eidolons. Specifically E4 and E6. So I'm like, damn it. I miss those. With my Topaz, I always noticed her crit rate always ended up being pretty high or close to the cap with her Lycone. Yeah. If you have multiple copies of her Lycone, 30% easily. 30% easily. Which is great. So that allows you to switch the crit rate body with crit damage. Because otherwise, I do admit, I think what people struggle with now that back when you first started playing, there was less characters to buff crit rate. And then there's also less characters to buff crit damage. Now, we have so many supports that gives you so much crit damage in the gameplay that it's not as... It's like an overly too much crit damage sometimes. But like, you really need that crit rate to be pretty high up there. You know, you're a legacy? What do you mean? In my perspective, if you love a character, okay? If you love a character, E6 and S5 is not enough. Not enough. All those people who say they are a fan of one character and they like to show off and say like, I'm a dedicated fan because I have E6, S5 of them. That's not enough. If you're a true fan, you would do everything for them. That means relics, light cones. That means knowing their character, analysis, getting every single character that works for them. That is, to me, the definition of a true fan. No one can argue with you on that because now you're just wasting resources for that one character. So it's like, to me, it's kind of obsessive, but like those Chinese players that literally pull for their waifu like over 100 times even though they already have the max copies, that's dedication right there. You're willing to waste money for that for no reason at all. You just love that character a lot. That's me though. There's no more pain in my mouth for my braces anymore, and now there's teeth pain. Oh, it's gonna hurt for a little while. You get used to it, and then hurts a little bit more when they readjust it. But the pain is a good sign that it's moving your teeth, so it's working. The dedication definitely pays off. Those Topaz relics are just satisfying to see, and you're getting through the end content. I'm not just getting through the end content. I'm getting through the end content with pretty good scores. That's the crazier part. I think I have shown other people my scores, and they are a little surprised when they look and they're like, "Why are you using Topaz?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Why are you using Topaz?" Because I have a really good Topaz. They don't question because it's E6 S5 now, but then they forget that I've used her even before E6 S5 when they claim that she's not worth it. So I was like, same with Aventurine. Some people are like, why are you still using Aventurine? You have PT. I'm like, I don't care. I will use him. He's doing fine. I'm just glad I have no lips or cheek pain. That was the worst. Ooh, cheek pain is kind of bad. It makes your entire mouth sore. I don't like that. Haven't done any research yet, but hearing that Robin can work with Agalea has me intrigued. Robin is kind of like a mini Sunday. Is my best explanation. My best explanation. Sunday is able to push Agalea off more often. Let me put it like that. His advancement is still a lot compared to Robin, because Robin's advancement is only with her ult. So unless you can get her ult up often somehow, which at least at the current gameplays I've been seeing, it doesn't come up that often or not too often. Sunday realistically would push Agalea to go more often, and he buffs the memo sprite and all those things. But I have heard that Robin offers a lot more benefits, because she also has like more buffing and other stuff to it. But she does charge. She does give energy. She does do, what do you call it, like advancing a character. So only a character though. She doesn't advance the memo sprite. Having better options doesn't suddenly mean another character is no longer viable. See, that's the argument I hear so many people have with, like, for example, there's so many people that have argued with me regarding Moze versus Topaz, and I'm like, please stop. I don't know why you guys argue with me about it. I'm never building Moze. I am never going to use it. Out of spite, because he has cursed me. I probably have like E30 Moze at this point. He has cursed me quite a bit whenever I pull. I use him as a relic holder. AKA, anytime I build a new character, he holds the relics for them. That's how spiteful I am. How petty I can be. Yeah, that's what I do to Moze. But in all honesty, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't like the arguments that people sometimes have where they're like, oh, Moze is better, especially in the sustainless option where you can do more damage. And I'm like, who's playing sustainless? Tell me that right now. Who's playing sustainless in these end contents other than pure fiction? What bosses have you guys been going against where you can play sustainless? That's crazy. That is. I thought I'm playing the RNG game. I think anyone that plays sustainless is playing RNG right there. That is terrifying. Who's doing sustainless? It's not a bad thing to do it, but I think the idea is that you're trying to argue with me a very niche situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, the average player probably will not be doing sustainless for a good reason, because sustainless does require a lot of thinking. It requires a lot of RNG on who gets hit. It requires a lot of timing on when to use ult. It is not easy at all. There's only a few teams that run sustainless more naturally without that process. But I have tried sustainless and it's not fun. I know this. I have done it before. It's not fun. So like, you can say the average player will not be doing sustainless, especially with some of the current bosses. That is terrifying. Terrifying. Only sustainless I know works easily is for Finan. I heard it works for Endblade too. Endblade can work to some degree, but it can't be a long fight. That is the problem. So again, that's why sustainless runs are, you really, really have to think, and you really have to like consider the possibilities, because it's terrifying. Yeah, sustainless should never be used as a baseline for a character's performance, right? It's just not. And then there's a lot of times where I know some people also try to argue with me on like, oh, if you use Moze on this team and Topaz on the same team, Moze would do better. And I'm like, yeah, that's a team that works better for him. Have you tried using other characters that suits Topaz a little bit better? I don't know. Again, I argue. Some people claim that Topaz is super easy to use. I don't think a lot of people know how to use Topaz. I'll make that argument very realistic here. I don't think a lot of people know how to use Topaz. The amount of gameplays I've seen people do where they attack the enemy that doesn't have the Numby symbol on and then wonder why she doesn't go very often. It's like, yeah, I wonder why. Have you thought about moving it? It is still RNG, don't get me wrong. Numby's RNG can annoy me once in a while. But I'd rather deal with that RNG than the RNG of my characters dying while playing sustainless. I watched my friend play sustainless and oh my god, I don't want to deal with that RNG and planning. It's a lot. I've done it. I don't know why I did. I did before for whatever reason. I think you guys watched me do it once actually. I was doing it for Anaxa. It was some kind of pure fiction run, if I remember correctly. It was like, I think I had Anaxa, Robin, Sunday, and then I was trying to do Bronya. So my Anaxa just keeps going. But he was also, let's be real, he's not very well built. It was for some kind of pure fiction run. It kind of worked. Kind of. They could survive until round 3. And then they kind of all die. Because at that point, they can't tank all the damage. So, but it's like, and then sometimes, you know, they hit the wrong character. Like, I wanted them to hit Sunday so I can get that energy recharge and get an Axis all up, and it hits Robin instead. It's like, oh. Or, like, I want them to hit Sunday, but Sunday can't tank it anymore, so he's going to die with the next hit. It's like, it's too much thinking. So I personally, I don't like the argument of sustainless. I really don't. Mostly because, again, it's just the chances of you doing that is, it's scary. It is very scary for the average player. And again, unless you have a character that is more built for sustainless, which most characters are not built for it, unless you very specialize, build your team around the idea that they're not going to have a proper sustain, it's a little terrifying. That RNG is not fun. But let's be real here, like, even in normal gameplays, even with a sustain, there's still the RNG you have to consider. Like, again, you want to use your energy for something, and you need a certain character to get hit. I do it all the time with my follow-up team. I need Robin to get hit at least once or twice in the very beginning, so she can get her ult up in time after, you know, certain characters go. And then if I miss, then I don't get her ult, no matter what I do with my follow-up attacks. I'm like, oh. So it's one of those things. Yeah. You guys can tell I've thought a lot about this. I've thought a lot about this. A little bit too much. To the point that I ramble so much about it. But quite literally, I have to. I don't, again, I don't pull for certain characters, and that is entirely my choice. But, you know, when I'm left with suddenly, like, with the characters I do have, I do have to really, really know the characters I do have and know how they work, so I can really plan my teams around to figure out, like, hey, can this team work? So, you guys have seen it. I have some pretty weird teams. It's the same thing in Currency War. I think in Currency War, a lot of people are like, they've asked me, they're like, hey, Isa, like, what do you use in Currency War? I'm like, oh, currently I use the Elation team. And they're like, okay, that makes sense. And then I'm like, and then follow up. And they're like, but why? I'm like, what do you mean, but why? They're like, you don't just go full Elation? I'm like, no. Why should I? It's so broken, but why? So, yeah. It's more fun though. It's more fun. They be working though. Got you all the way up to max. It works really well. Follow-up is actually really good in Currency War though. I was able to use them even when they weren't good. Like, at least the past few patches, they claimed that in Currency War, follow-up wasn't that good. I had been doing completely fine. What I did, though, was I mixed my follow-up team with another team. So for a while, before the Elation team came about, I would do the Festivals of Harmony. Whatever you call that, the Festives of something. It's the Penacony one. I initially used that to do everything, and it kind of worked. Wait, sorry, someone texted me. What? my mom texted me something I don't understand. It's gotten better, but I don't think it has ever been bad as other people made it out to be. I think the thing is people. Again, it's the idea of follow up as a team has always been very awkward, because I think so many people are so used to the idea that they need one character to do burst damage. If that makes sense. Like, look at all the really, really popular characters or the popular teams, I guess you can say. Like, let's go back to the popular teams. We have like Akron, where she does major burst damage. But let's be real here, nobody else is doing damage on her team. Unless you're maybe playing the dot team with her, then maybe, but it's not as much as you think. And then, like, Finan, Castorize, a lot of those characters, they do such big numbers, and that's where a lot of people are like, whoa, holy crap, that's crazy, right? But then with the follow-up teams, a lot of them, even Fei Xiao, especially now, but even back then, I remember some people were saying Fei Xiao's damage is not that big compared to, again, someone like Akron, someone like, well, I can't compare Castorize. Castorize it's kind of overwhelming in damage. But follow-up had never been about dealing big damage all at once. It's always been you attack as freaking often as possible and try to force your teammates to attack with you. And that's the same with Topaz. That's also why I feel like some people, they get underwhelmed by Topaz unless you do it right, where Topaz is freaking going like all the time. It's gotten better, but I don't think... Oh yeah, I read that. It's always been gradual damage through multiple characters. Yep. It is harder nowadays because a lot of the other teams are like... Now we have characters like Ashvale and Blade. Where, let's be real here, not only are they attacking very often, holy crap, the damage they do in one go sometimes, it's insane. Like, I still look at my Ashvale doing all of his ult damage and I'm like, holy crap, that's scary. Especially when you get all his stacks built. Mind you, maybe it looks... Obviously it looks different on my end because I have E2. So his stack has raised up. I think his original stack level is like 12, which is still really high because he takes 4 away each time. But my stack level now at E2 is 18. So that's a good whole extra attack right there. So his damage is pretty high up there, I will say. Pretty high up there. But it is kind of terrifying to watch. It's like, ooh, that's a lot of damage. And he goes. He goes pretty often. Until suddenly he has no more ult charges because I think one of the problems with the M-Blade and Ashvale wheelchair team is that Ashvale does have a bit of a problem keeping his ult up. Because M-Blade and whoever other teammates you have tends to eat it very quickly. So then at some point, he's just not going anymore. You know what I mean? He's just not going anymore. But in Currency War, on the other hand, if you have Topaz, the Topaz in Currency War is hilarious. Especially if you give her boots, double shoes, like what you call it, the double shoes that turns into the red shoe. Then you put a shoe with the knife to get the missile launchers. You put 2 of those on her and the shoes, and at some point, once you have like somewhere around, I want to say 10 to maybe 15 stacks on the shoe, suddenly she goes like 4 to 5 times in a row. It's great. Each and every stack, it's such a very, what do you call it? It's very satisfying to watch. Very satisfying to watch. So it's one of those things. But again, it's a lot of it. I think in this game, people don't realize that, you know, you can do weird builds, and nobody wants to do that because it might not work very well, or you know, you gotta really know a character to know how to do those weird builds. If you don't know how to do it, then it's not going to turn out very well. Also, hi Ender. Hello. How are you? How you doing? I am like currently waiting for a certain somebody to start streaming. But yeah, it's one of those games. So now I'm just like, ugh. Unfortunately, I'm a little disappointed that Wave Flare doesn't get to work with my Topaz though. Or it might work. I think it only works because my topaz is E6 though. I think it only works because my topaz is E6. I have to try it. I actually have to I gotta try an elation team with my topaz outside of current form. It probably won't work, but I need to check if it works during Nambi's ult form. Let me guess, Lyriel? Yeah. I mentioned it in the beginning of stream. This week has not been a... Okay, I can't say it's not a good week. It's been an unpredictable week where I scheduled things at the beginning of the week and then I'm being told suddenly last minute, hey, let's go out somewhere. So it kind of threw off my schedule. So today I didn't play Genshin. I'm just chatting because I'm literally going to end stream really soon. And then tomorrow I'm gonna try to stream. I'm going to try to stream. But I don't know how late it is that I might end up streaming. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's one of those things. One of those things. But I'm hoping she'll start stream soon because I do think I need to go soon. Or never mind, I'm being told we have to go now. Okay. But sorry, Ender, you just came. I wanted to raid out to Lyriel, but I don't... Let me see. Yeah, she's not streaming yet. That's so sad. I can't raid out to her. Ooh. Yeah, I won't be able to raid out to her. Oh, thank you for the biddies. Do you guys like my new alerts, by the way? It sounds really nice, right? Let me play all my alerts for you guys real quick before I go, because I'm very happy with them. It's cute. So if I can get it to load, let me see. Okay. Let me press every single one. Boop. There you go. Hopefully that... Does that each work? There you go. I'll just watch the VOD. Oh, it's just me yapping. It's just me yapping. Is that all my alerts? There we go. There we go. Yeah, there's all my alerts. Yeah, new alerts and all those things. But anyway... Yeah, I won't be able to raid out, so I'm just going to end stream. And hopefully you guys will go in and watch Lyriel. She'll be streaming in like maybe like 10 minutes or so. They do sound very nice. I know. Very nice. If it's like the watery theme, right? The more like dreamy, whimsical theme, I like it a lot. I'll gladly watch the yapping. I was just talking about Wave Flare the entire time. I was talking about Wave Flare the entire time at Topaz, okay? That's all I talk about when it comes to Star Rail. But anywho, again, I will try very hard to see you guys tomorrow. I'll try very hard, okay? I'll try really hard. I'll even stream really late because I really want to do some Star Rail stuff anyways. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Have sweet dreams, have sweet daydreams, and you guys take care, okay? Make sure to stay nice and cool and drink lots of water. Bye!